MMORPGs have been a cornerstone of the gaming industry for years, captivating millions of players with their immersive worlds, challenging quests, and vibrant communities. Many massive titles have come and gone, and now, not only are you looking for a new game that you're going to call home, there are more and more of you that want these games to be available to you on the go. My name is Lag, and I am the bane of your existence. To make it up to you, I'm going to offer you a diverse list of MMORPGs that you can jump into right now. So, grab your swords, equip that armor, and let's go on an adventure as we take a look at these exciting MMORPGs. Okay, so FutureLag here, and I've been yelled at to explain to you how this video works. The games are listed in no particular order and were chosen because they each have something unique that they bring to the table. Each game gets a personal score from me based on my experience playing them. I rate the graphics, the story, the combat, the non-combat gameplay, which relates to things like crafting, professions, parkour, puzzle solving, world exploring, etc. And of course, I also rate the monetization. I'll also rate the early, mid, and late game experience while mentioning the presence of build variety. Why? Build variety is important as it allows for increased replayability. Now that that's out of the way, I am mandated to ask you to subscribe to the channel for more gaming content if you haven't done so already. Also, my socials are linked in the description, go check those out too. Now, on with the video. Number 5 on the list is Tower of Fantasy. Tower of Fantasy was a highly anticipated cross-platform anime-style MMORPG for PC and mobile developed by Hota Studio and released globally around mid-2022. The game was generally well received, but due to some security issues quickly fell off. The player base has recovered though and is still highly populated, seeing that the game is still receiving regular updates in 2023. The game is a lot easier to get into as a complete newbie to the genre compared to some of the other games on this list. Being an anime style game, Tower Fantasy offers some unique character customization which allows you to adjust the appearance of your hair, face, skin color, and choose your body preset. The game technically uses an infinity class system as you are not locked to any class in particular. The story is fairly immersive and the gameplay feels rewarding due to a real-time action combat system where you can swap freely between equipped weapons. You can unlock these weapons using the game's gacha system. Alright, this is where I mentioned that Tower Fantasy is a gacha based MMORPG, meaning you're going to be pulling banners to get those simulacrums, that's what they call here, and weapons that you want. You're also limited on the number of activities that you can do per day as there's a type of labor point system involved, so I recommend optimizing your use of in-game resources if you want to minimize your spending. That being said, it is possible to play and enjoy the game as a completely free-to-play player. My personal score for this game would be graphics 10 out of 10, story 7 out of 10, combat 8 out of 10, non-combat gameplay 8 out of 10, monetization high. Being a gacha game, that speaks for itself. Early game is easy to get into, the mid game is hard, the end game is even harder, and build variety is limited as you kinda are forced into playing into how specific characters interact with each other. I no longer play Tower Fantasy, and although my wallet didn't like it very much, I truly did enjoy my time there. So, if anime-style story-driven MMORPGs with a lot of anime waifus and husbanders are your thing, then you'll feel right at home in Tower of Fantasy. Number 4 on the list is Toram Online. Toram Online is originally a mobile-only MMORPG developed by Azobimo Inc. that had its PC port released in December of 2021, allowing for a true crossplay between PC and mobile. The game uses a dated but unique anime art style that can grow on you. It also offers one of the most in-depth anime-styled character customization systems I've seen on a cross-platform MMORPG. The game is very story-focused, and even though it uses the infinity class system, you might want to create multiple characters to focus in on certain builds. Build variety is one of the main attractions for Toram Online as it offers a lot of variability and by extension replayability to the game and its content. Toram Online is easy enough to get into, with the developers hosting seasonal events and random events quite often. There is always something going on in Toram that you can participate in at any level and gain rewards. The crafting and trading systems make things fun for me personally, and they allow you to get by as a completely free-to-play player as long as you're willing to grind for the spina, the in-game gold currency of Toram. Toram is a fun niche game, but unless you have friends to play with or a guild to help you with some of the grinds, you can find yourself hitting a wall and feeling like you're unable to progress later on. My personal score for this game would be graphics 7 out of 10, story 8 out of 10, combat 7 out of 10, non-combat gameplay 7 out of 10, monetization moderate. As I said, the early game is easy to get into. The mid game is hard because you do hit that wall, and unless you have friends to help you overcome it, it can be very difficult. The end game is moderate and build variety is very extensive, as this is what the game is essentially built on. Overall, Toram Online is an exciting and immersive MMORPG that offers a vast and engaging world to explore, along with numerous customization options and social features. If I didn't give away all of my spina and gear before taking a break, I would probably still be playing, so I definitely recommend you check this one out.
3.
Number 3 on the list is Traha Global. This is possibly my favorite game on the list. Traha is a faction-based cross-platform PvP MMORPG developed by Moai Games. The global version was released for PC and mobile in November of 2022 and has seen both a consistent player base and consistent updates to this day. I'll try to not be biased, but if you grow up on games like Lineage 2 and Shire, then Traha Global makes you feel right at home. The story itself isn't very immersive aside from a few voice-acted cutscenes, but where Traha really shines is its diverse action combat system, which uses a true Infinity class system where you can swap to any weapon type as long as you have it unlocked, and true build variety that can be reset at any time for free. What I like about Traha is that it also respects the Holy Trinity in both PvP and PvE content, where you need to have specific roles filled to be able to complete things successfully. There are numerous PvP modes including both open world and queue-based systems. PvE content takes the form of daily and side missions where you kill mobs in the open world, as well as numerous dungeons. Speaking of dungeons, there are solo dungeons, random dungeons that you queue up for, raids that you have to make or find a group to complete, and much more. There's a schedule of different activities that can help you plan for major events, and there are always seasonal or promotional events happening that give players lots of rewards. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. It is a Korean-based game. Monetization of the game has been slowly increasing, but it is still viable to be completely free to play. My personal score for this game would be graphics 8 out of 10, story 6 out of 10, combat 8 out of 10, non-combat gameplay 7 out of 10, monetization moderate for now. The early game is very easy to jump into, mid-game is moderate in its difficulty, and endgame can be difficult, which is good for an MMORPG. Build variety, as I said before, is very extensive, and it is one of the selling points of Traha for me personally, because you can reset all of your builds for free at any point in time. I've sunk about 600 hours into Traha Global across both PC and mobile since starting near the end of December of 2022, and unless monetization becomes horrendous, I don't foresee myself leaving the game anytime soon. If you like engaging PvP and PvE content where your stats and build actually matter, then I recommend giving Traha Global a try.
2.
Number 2 on the list is Old School RuneScape. RuneScape is a game that needs no introduction. It's the oldest game on this list, and for good reason. RuneScape was originally a browser-based MMORPG developed and published by Jagex. Due to Jagex adding more skills and ultimately the evolution of combat in 2012, there was a great divide in the RuneScape community, which, TLDR, gave birth to Old School RuneScape, which was released in 2013 and later released for mobile in 2018, making it a perfect addition to this cross-platform list. Old School RuneScape retained the traditional style of combat prior to the Evolution of Combat update and the 23 core skills. Old School RuneScape, also called OSRS, runs as a separate game, meaning that your original RuneScape progress does not transfer over. But I mean, it's RuneScape. Who doesn't like grinding on a brand new account? Old School RuneScape has one of the largest and most vibrant MMORPG communities of any cross-platform games within the genre. There's so much to do in the game that it's near impossible to describe what it's about in under 2 minutes. At its very core, it's a casual play how you want whenever you want type of game. You like PvE? You can sink hours into that. You like quests? You can sink hours into that. You like PvP or PKing? You can sink hours into that. You want membership but don't want to pay real money? You can earn in-game gold through the game's robust trading system and purchase membership through bonds. It is very viable to be a completely free-to-play player. The main detractors that many modern gamers speak about would be the graphic style, which admittedly is very unique, and the combat is click-based. My personal score for this game would be, and to avoid being lynched by the OSRS community, graphics, unique out of 10. Story, yes out of 10. Combat, clicky click out of 10. Non-combat gameplay, 99 out of 10. Points if you get that reference. Monetization, low, but give them your money anyway. The early game can be a little bit confusing if you are completely new to RuneScape, but as you get towards the mid game it becomes very fun, and the end game is a bit challenging. Build variety, I'm not really sure if that really applies to RuneScape, but we'll leave that one alone for now. Everyone makes a pit stop at RuneScape at some point in their MMORPG life. It's not a game that's heavily demanding. If you're looking for a nice casual play at your own pace game that you can play on your PC or on the go, then I definitely recommend diving into the realm of Gielinor in old school RuneScape. Number 1 on this list is Adventure Quest 3D. Now this list is in no particular order, but since my channel was built on Adventure Quest 3D content, I couldn't not include it in this list as I do actively still play it contrary to popular belief. Adventure Quest 3D, commonly called AQ3D, is a cross-platform MMORPG developed by Artix Entertainment and was released as an open beta in 2016. It finally made the official transition to being live in October of 2022. AQ3D has a unique art style, which most of the customization comes in the form of the in-game cosmetics, which are jokingly said to be the endgame of AQ3D. It's a fairly active game with a social community. Actually, let me rephrase that. AQ3D is a community-driven game. While the game receives frequent light updates, the community of the game is what keeps it afloat. It's hard to describe AQ3D in under 2 minutes because this game tries to do a lot, and I do mean a lot. So let's start with the classes and combat. AQ3D uses a true infinity class system where you can swap to any class once you're out of combat and you have it unlocked. Each class has things that it excels at and situations where you may prefer one over the other, and class balancing is a thing that happens sometimes. AQ3D offers a variety of PvE content in the form of story-driven quests and unfinished questlines that will leave you questioning what the main objective of the game really is. There's also a plethora of dungeons, raids, and complementary bugs. Oh, and PvP. Can't forget the PvP side of things, which exists in the form of duels or a queued 5v5 system. The game does have a lot of skill content, which can make your stats feel useless, but they're working on it. There is no subscription fee, but there is a one-time purchase of the Guardian class, which is the only class locked behind a paywall and is not necessary to play the game. That being said, there is literally no way to buy power in AQ3D at the point of making this video, and it is extremely viable to be a free-to-play player in Adventure Quest 3D, at least in comparison to the other cross-platform MMORPGs on the market. Now, I know there are people that are going to be very unhappy with this, but my personal score for the game would be graphics 8 out of 10, story 7 out of 10, combat 6 out of 10, non-combat gameplay 8 out of 10. Monetization, moderate, but that's for cosmetics and or convenience purchases. The early game is fun but can be overwhelming, but it is an easy enough game to get into. Mid game is fun if you can figure out what to do, and the end game is a grind fest, which is not necessarily a bad thing. As for build variety, lol, maybe one day. While the game does have a lot to improve on, you don't have to look far to find things to enjoy in Adventure Quest 3D. Like I said, my channel was built on AQ3D content, and I received so much love and support from not just the community but from members of the dev team as well. If you're brand new to the MMORPG genre, it is one of the best gateway MMORPGs to help you get your feet wet, so I definitely recommend giving it a try. Well, that brings us to the end of the list, but before I go, I just want to make a few honorable mentions to some other cross-platform games that you may want to check out, like Albion Online, Summoner's War Chronicles, and V4. Major thank you to everyone that helped me with this video, and full list of credits are provided at the end. I want to take this opportunity to remind you that I stream on Twitch over at twitch.tv/LagOfLore, and I'm always down to try new games. That's it for this video, but the world of MMORPGs is vast and ever changing. If you have any favorite games or tips for other players, be sure to share them in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming content. Until the next time, stay safe, be happy, and meow.